What's up, guys? Today I'm going to hit the topic of magazine carriers. Now, these are going to be vacuum pressed, but eventually I'm going to do a video on foam pressed magazine carriers on how I used to make them. I have since upgraded all my tooling to vacuum forming, so I don't foam magazine holsters anymore. And on the occasion that I have a new magazine that I know there's no molds out there, I'm now at the point where I make my own, which I'll show you in a little bit. One I just designed for the Masterpiece arms, like the Tech 9 clone. So I got that actually on the 3D printer for the trim jigs, and I'm about to start up the CNC soon, which is why I'm going to do a quick video because it's going to be loud for like 10 hours in here, so filming would be absolutely pointless. But quick thing on mag carriers. So for example, I have an order for Leo style. Now, if you don't know what Leo style is, generally when, this is a FN 545 magazine, generally when you have them on your body, the wider side is against your body. So there's less, it doesn't protrude as much from the belt clips. But Leo style is mags forward. So you could fit the same amount. So I could probably fit 3 in the same amount as a dual mag carrier by putting them this way, and indexing them personally is a little bit easier. I like to put finger in the front, indexer right into the gun. So that being said, you need to make sure you know what magazines they're intended for, and let's get to that. So how do you know? There's a couple ways you can do this, technically 3 ways. You own the gun, you have the internet, and your friend has it. So those are pretty much the 3 things you need to have access to for it. Generally, I purchased the magazines. Now, when I was foam pressing, I bought all the magazines. So when I tell you I bought the magazines, I have bins and bins of magazines that I bought to make specific mag carriers for. Do I need to do that all the time? No, not anymore. But if it's a new magazine I'm not familiar with, I will 100% buy it or Google it to see what it is. Now, when you're searching for magazine carrier molds, there's a couple things you need to take in consideration. Obviously, the specifics of the mold. So you have your single stacked 9 to 45, which will work for 9, 40, 357 sig, and 45, and anything in between that I missed. Then you have your double stack for 9, 40, 357 sig, 10 mil, and 45. And then you also have your half stack, which is, for example, 365s, Hellcats, and a few other guns. Now, this is also what you need to know. If you invest in a Glock 19 mold, okay, these are obviously steel frame with a plastic coating, so they are larger. This is a double stack. This is a double stack. They are not the same size. This one is noticeably thicker than this one. So, oddly enough, if you need to do a magazine carrier, grab for a double stack steel mag, grab a 1.5 and it fits. So that's what I've noticed on a lot of builds. The 1.5 for the Glocks, the 43, the Shields, and the SIGs and whatnot will work for steel like CZ and Scorpion stuff. But it's a good idea to, or Springfield, not Scorpion. It's a good idea to have the actual magazine. Now, another thing, on Leo style, you have this magazine carrier right here. This is a SBR Kydex, I believe. I want to say yes, this is. So this right here, if you notice, there's nothing in the top here. Now, I'm pretty sure these were designed around the Glock because Glocks have nothing in the front because the magazine catch is on the side here. So, for example, I have an order for a dual mag carrier Leo style for an FN 545. Now, FNs use a different magazine catch. It's right in the front. So guess what? This is not going to work. Not going to work at all. So what I need to do is block it. So if I was to not look into this magazine, it won't fit this holster. Then you're going to have an angry customer, then you're going to have a return, and then you're going to have to modify all your stuff. So when I start developing more of this stuff, these are going to be incorporated into it to fit all of them. So this mold is designed around the Glock 40, so which is the 10 millimeter double stack. So it's going to be the 40 or the 45. Sorry, the 45 or the 10 mil. And so FN 45 10 mil double stack, same dimensions, but can't do it with that. So I have the Storm Gray carbon. I'm going to go ahead and heat it up, and then we're going to go ahead and just make this carrier. This is dual MRD on a Blade Tech, so combat loop. So we're just going to knock this out, and I'll show you that. But I'm also going to show you what I'm designing for a mold right now. It's kind of cool. Now, when I make a magazine mold, I have one tool. You know what? Technically three. A pen, a pad of paper, and calipers. So the dial indicator and all that stuff. I have electric, but battery's dead, and I don't feel like replacing it right now. So, but here is the magazine. It is a 33 or 32 round mag for the Masterpiece arms, and yeah, I mean, look at the profile. It's kind of a pain in the butt, and there's nothing on the market that'll fit it because it's wider. So I designed this. So what I did is this right here. So you have to start out by making pretty much a solid of what you want, which is this right here. And then split it up, put it on a backer. So we got the mold right here. And I was able to make the trim jigs of said mold, which these ones are actually a little bit different because they're now angled, so this is an older one. But we have the mold right there. So this is going to be cut on the CNC, and these are going to be printed. So what I do, which I've noticed nobody else does, is I add these bars going across, and that stops the flexing from left to right, so you can't twist it. So I put those in, and then you got adjustable retention right here, and then you got the MRD mounts on the side here. And this is what it's pretty much going to look like done. I'll actually get into the trim jigs, but here are the trim jigs. So this is the final shape. You got your back side, your front side. Now these are specific to the direction. So these ones are made for left-handed mounting. So a right-handed shooter is going to be on the left side of the body with bullets facing rear. It's easier to index that way. So eventually I'm going to have to take this mount and put it on this side, and then we'll have a right-handed shooter. Or a left-handed shooter on right side. So, but for now, this is designed for this, unless you like bullets forward for some reason. But these are what it's going to look like, and I have them being built right now. Here it is. I literally just started this print. We're, I don't even think, 1% into it yet. We got 1%. So this is going to be a little bit. This is my Anycubic Viper. According to Cura, this is going to take 15 hours to print for one side and then 15 hours for the other side. Yes, I know, it's a long time. It's not a bamboo. I had the money to buy the bamboo. I didn't pull the trigger on it because I needed to buy material and stuff for gun shows. So at gun shows, I do a lot more than just selling holsters. I also do, I do some vests. I do laser engraving PMags. So I just bought 35 PMags and QLS forks because I needed some, and some of you benders needed some, so I buy them and pretty much just ship them to you, and we go from there. So, but I'll be buying the bamboo later because I know it'll take this print from 15 hours down to like 2 or 3 or less. It is what it is, but I bought this just before bamboo hit the market. So this is what I'm using for now, and that's okay. That means I get to time to machine the mold tomorrow because I got to go to Home Depot tonight. Because instead of wasting $50 on HDPE and the mold doesn't fit, I buy a 2x10, oh sorry, a 6x10, and I machine it out of that, and that way I could make any adjustments to the program, and then once I finalize it, I could do HDPE, so I'm not wasting that. I'd rather waste $2 on wood than $50 on plastic and throw it away, because the wood I just burn after, so... All right, that being said, I know there's a lot of jabbering. Let's get this built for this. I don't have a trim jig, so I'm going to bolt them together and cut them at the same time. But I got to heat them up, and I don't have the press I use on, so I'm going to use my open flame heater, my bullet heater, to heat this up. So we're going to throw it in the press, and I'll show you a trick or two on that as well. probably be like, hey, why do you preheat carbon fiber? It's simple. Well, this is what I found. If I take carbon fiber straight from my storage area and throw it in the press, as soon as it hits 370 degrees, it's bubbly and crappy and it's junk. Carbon fiber is expensive, so I don't want that. So what I do is I preheat it. Now, preheating gets the moisture out. Now, according to the manufacturers, Holstex and Kydex and all that stuff, the bubbling that's inside, or the effect that happens with the press, is the moisture escaping. It's pretty much boiling inside, and then it, poof, needs somewhere to go. So it's the gas coming out from the water, or the moisture. So that being said, I preheat, it gets rid of that, and I preheat it until it's flexible and nice and hot to the touch, and then I'll throw it in the press. And right now, you can see the press is dropping. Well, you can't see that right now, but it went from 380 to 367 because, you know, the Kydex is cold going in. So once this ramps back up to 370, the Kydex is perfect. So that's what I did. And another tip is this. Now, if you notice, these molds are 2 individual pieces. You got your front and your rear. Now, you're going to waste Kydex by doing them one at a time. So, and if you put them together like this, chances are this might create a seal and you're not going to get any suction. So I put them up to my router just to make holes like that, so when they line up, they don't create a seal. So now I'm going to save maybe a couple inches of decks, but I'm still saving material because I don't want to waste it because it's expensive. So now we're going to press it like this with these guys right here for that. Now, if you couldn't tell, yeah, we hit 368 and we hit 0 countdown. I'm not going to pull this until it hits 370, which we're almost there. Probably another 20 seconds or so, and then we're going to pop this up and put it right here. Oh, bubbles. All right. No shame in helping it to suck down, but you'll have to dial in your heat. But in carbon fiber, I won't go above 370 on it because it'll start to boil and stuff. So on deep things like this, you may need to help it. So this stick lives at the foam press. Now, if you see right there, we have tenting. Are we going to care about that? Absolutely not. Why are we not going to care about that? Because we're cutting the tops off of that. So all we care about is how it looks everywhere else. Everywhere else is bellissimo. Now, we're just going to have to cut and trim mag carriers without a trim jig. Is it easy? Oh yeah. 2-piece instead of folded is a lot easier to do and cut right the first time than it is for a fold over, and you'll see why. We have our MRDs drilled on all 4 corners, and then we have our mounting and then the retention on the inside. So the MRD, I do 1/4 inch, and these are 7/32 for these 6 plus the 2 in the center, 7/32. So right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a rough cut just to split these up. And here's a little trick I do after you get it cut to where you need. Go ahead and just cut it like so. All right, and then I'm going to take 3/16 posts and put it in there. And the reason why you want to do 3/16 is because it won't protrude to the other side, which makes you have a very tight seal or hold or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to put that in. All right, so now we just got to make sure that we're lined up. Oops. Do that backwards. You want to make sure they're facing the same direction. Because it's easier that way, so let's see here. All right, so we're going to line up. There we go. Lined up, lined up. And now I'm going to go ahead and cut how I want it. And they'll be equivalent on both sides. And then once you get to the shape you want, hit it on the belt sander and it'll even everything out. And then you'll be all set to add your hardware, which in this case, is going to be one of these guys. I'm going to hit it on the belt sander. All right, now I just took them apart, and as you can see, nice and uniform. So now I'm going to hit it with the 800 grit sanding disc on my buffer, and then what we could also do is make sure it fits too. Now I make these longer than they need to be, and that is absolutely perfect. So it's going to be no problem here whatsoever. And the wiggle side to side is okay, because this is going to be pushing against it. So no need to worry. So I'm going to go ahead, hit this with a buffing wheel, and then we are going to assemble. Now there's a reason why I chose to buffer them separately instead of having them still bolted together. When you do it together, you're only going to get the beveled edge on the outside, and it's going to be a sharp edge on the inside. You're not really going to feel it, but it's still there. So by doing them separately, you get a rounded edge on both sides. So now let's get to this right here. We're going to be doing this, and this. So let's see here. I already got 2 of these. I need 2 more. All right. So step number 1 is I take my MRDs and fix my drill. There we go. And I drill out the mounting hole to the 7/32 because it'll fit the barrel of what we use. Now they make specific stuff, but that just means another part number, another thing. See, it doesn't fit. So I drill that out the same size. All right, that's good to go. Get the crap out of here. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these are 1/4 inch. Make sure you have this going the right direction. Throw those in there. Throw that on top. And some magic blue juice on half-inch bolts. You're not going to tighten it fully at the moment, because you're still going to want to move some stuff around. So what I'll do now is throw the other MRD in. Throw those in. And same thing. Magic blue juice. And what you can do as well is throw a mag in there just to double check. And then you can go ahead and tighten those down. Okay. Now a couple more things we need to do, and one of them is I'm going to put the bushings on there that we need. So that's going to be for the combat loop. So we're going to take those right here are 0.4375. These are 1/4 inch and these are 1/4 inch. I'm going to put 4 on here. And you could do this too before you bolt them together, but this is easy enough to stick your finger in there. All right, now in here, we need something to fill up that space. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get probably a 3/4 screw truss head, and then probably this guy right here, just so to make it easier. And then, but we need a bushing to go inside there. So we're going to mix and match. We're going to have to use 2 bushings, or we'll see what we got. Luckily, I had a bushing large enough. Now these are, I believe, 0.618. So yeah, 0.6, which is awesome to have. So what I'll do is I'll put that in there first, so it's centered in there. You can see straight through it. And this right here is 3/8. I'll push that through as well. And then on this side, I'll go ahead and put a little blue juice. All right, and then just tighten it up to your desire, which is generally when these are parallel to each other. A little bit. Actually, that's perfect where it is. I'll say a little bit of resistance is all I like to get. All right, and then you can go ahead and throw this on. You got the magic blue juice. just get started. Don't tighten. All right, now we're good. We're gonna tighten those up, but we don't want them protruding your slotted post, because then you'll scratch the magazines. So I'll put my finger down there, and once I feel the screw go against my finger, we know it's good. And then, no scratches. Let's close this. We're fine. But we're not done just yet, because it's not a good mag carrier if it falls out. I'm going to show you how to fix that. If you're new to the game, you probably don't know. But if you're a seasoned vet, you know why it's not holding it. You need to tighten your MRD. If you don't know what MRD stands for, it's Magazine Retention Device, which a lot of the new stuff has it. Given, if you buy these MRDs individually, they're almost $5 a piece. If you buy them in bulk, they're like $1.20, but you have to get 1,000 at a time. So yeah, gets pricey real quick. Go just a little bit more. Pretty good. Let's move it to the other side. Now, if you notice, that side's in there, and then this side is not. So we'll take and do this. That's a great thing about the magazine. It's independent on wherever it's mounted. Unless we have a third magazine, then the third magazine will be by the adjustment screws. So just a C hair more, maybe a redhead, not a brunette. And that's perfect. And I do one more thing. I cannot tell you how many times I've sent out a magazine carrier and the customer's like, magazines don't fit, they fall out, or they just have no idea. And a lot of people don't know about the MRD, especially if you're new to the game or even seasoned. Some police officers had no idea. So what I do is I have a business card with my YouTube link on it. Link, you know what I mean. And then on the back, it says, your holster is equipped with an MRD device. Simply use the Allen key to tighten or loosen the retention to your liking. So that goes with it, but not the magazine. This is mine. That's mine. Better be. It's $50 for that thing, just for test fits. I can't forget the most important step. And that will pretty much do it for this half of the build. Now I am going to be making an FNX 45 tactical with TLR 1 level 2 with a QLS fork, receiver plate, and a mid drop, but I already have maybe 2 or 3 videos on that particular setup. Probably not that color, but I do have that setup, so you really don't need to see that one because it's just repeat content, which I'm trying not to do. But I did want to hit the fact that you need to know what your magazine holster is intended for, because you don't want returns, just because it's a pain in the butt for everybody, especially if you have a restocking fee, then that angers the customer even more, and it's just a whole pain in the butt. But anyways, where I get the magazine carriers, there's 3 places, now 4, that I get them. 1, Plan B holsters. Oliver at Plan B, awesome guy, and this is what a lot of my mag carriers are from, Plan B. Another one is David Miller at Ox Creek Tactical. He has a lot of molds I have here, like the singles and the doubles, are from him, and it's absolutely glorious. Another one is Robert over at sbrkydex.com. The guy has the best pricing, period, and I think I own 90% of his stuff, mainly because what I didn't buy of his, I already had. So there's a couple stuff that I don't really have an interest for because I don't have a particular, I've never had an order for that style or that magazine, which is why I've never ordered it. But I guess if I buy it, they will come. So I don't know. But highly recommend all 3 of them. And then the 4th one is, well, now myself, because I got the scanner, the machine, and the 3D printer, the CNC machine. Then I could just do that in-house, which is what I'm doing. And like I said, I got to go to Home Depot so I could practice on the wood before I commit to HDPE, because this right here, this block is $47 before it's cut. So, and if you buy more, it's a little bit cheaper, but you're talking 45 bucks for this. So, and then the machine time, which I'm still learning the processing, but the way I have it right now, that particular build will probably take 10 hours to cut. You know, the first one is probably going to be like 2 or 3 hours for the rough cut, and then I use a 1/32 bit with a 30% overlap, so that takes a long time, but I'm still learning how to do all the intricate detail, which in my opinion comes out with a better forming holster. So on that note, I am going to move on. I'm going to build this holster. I got a couple to box up. I just lasered some stuff last night as well for another holster company. So on that note, if you didn't know, if you want to have artwork on your foamies, I do offer that service. You could either purchase them from Holstersmith and ship them straight to me, and I'll laser your logo on there, or I purchase the lasers, laser your logo, or the foamies, laser your logo, and then ship them to you. So there's options. I have no minimum, no maximum. I have a $20 setup fee, so that's the programming, the fixturing, and all that stuff. And then that's a one-time fee, and then it's 50 cents per clip after that, no min, no max. So again, Plan B holsters, Ox Creek, SBR, and then, of course, get your material and all your hardware from holstersmith.com. I can't thank them enough. I actually just put in like a $600 or $700 order because I have stuff I got to do, and it's stuff I need. So a huge thank you to them. They're a tremendous help. And you know what? Next time I go down south, I'm going to drop in and say hello. So that's going to be fun. And yes, I will film it. So I'm always looking to go down to buy a car. And if I ever find the right one, it's going to happen. So on that note, I know there was a lot of talking, but know what you get before you build. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I appreciate all you. Keep moving forward. See you later. Love you. Bye.